Hello, hello, sir. How are you? How was your day? Oh, it's going well. I did a lot today. I was very productive. Hello, hello. I was very, very productive today. I did a lot of landscaping work. Me and Paige both did a lot of landscaping work. We probably moved because our house here was made in the 60s, and the last couple of days has been just trying to clean up the flower beds around the house, because the flower beds had um, just awful. For one, a lot of them had plastic down, and then they put those um, things that look like road trips. How to go at the post office the other day. Not as productive as I would have wanted, but I'm gonna have to go back probably tomorrow before work. But to talk about a package they lost, because they told me to file a claim, because Thomas Waters, I sent him a helmet. He bought one for me, and the post office lost it, which fucking sucks. So they told me to file a claim, go online and file a claim, and she gave me a thing, like a little link where I could go file a claim. But every time I go there, the website loads halfway and then never goes any further than that. So it's like, okay. Ooh. There you go. Maybe Paige will come down here eventually. She's up watching Netflix right now. So, but we did a lot of landscaping today. The other day, there's a little 4-foot section out back behind the house in kind of a shadier area, but it gets sun in the afternoon. That was plastic, it's laid down plastic, and then they brought in those ground up tires that they like paint orange to look like wood chips, but they last a lot longer than wood chips, because after like a year they're brown. So they tons of this rubber out there, and I got rid of that, and I planted a blackberry and a blueberry bush right there in that spot. And then today we did out front. There's probably a 20-foot flower bed out there, and it was just covered in landscaping rock. So we pulled all the landscaping rock and all the liner back, and put wildflowers in there. So, which will be really nice. We did that. Me and Paige probably moved 1,000 pounds of landscaping rock today, about half a ton of landscaping rock today. And then we planted 2 trees. We put a cherry tree in the front yard and a plum tree in the backyard, and hopefully those do well. That's pretty much what I did today. I did some homework, because right now work has an incentive where if I spend 44 hours of watching online training videos, they'll give me $1,000. So I did some of that this morning. Did a bunch of landscaping. My hands are very dry right now from all the dirt. Got my hands dirty, because you're a real gardener if you get in there and get your hands actually dirty. So broke a shovel today. Plant a pizza tree. I wish that was a thing, but we will be having tomatoes, and we will be planting basil and stuff, so we'll have a lot of components for pizza. That's not so bad, though. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. But the worst movie I've ever seen was Post-Apocalyptic Commando Shark. That one's not that great. But yeah, so we one of the cats is taking a shit in the litter box. That's what that noise is. Cheese tree. I believe that's just a cow. But But yeah, so we got a lot done today out in the yard, which is great. And there's even more to come this weekend because we both only work Wednesday, Thursday this week, and then a lot of stuff to do over the weekend. Hopefully, even though it's supposed to be kind of rainy and gross, we got that stuff going on. But we got a lot done today. Definitely got my exercise in. There was a lot of landscaping rock. A lot of landscaping rock. So it's not that great. It's not that great of a movie for sure. Better than the old apartment? It is better than the old apartment. I mean, as far as my living space goes, I have less. My bedroom's a lot smaller. My living room's a lot smaller, but there's a lot more shared space. So, because I kind of have like the one bedroom in the basement and then like the den living room. Those are kind of my areas. So, but yeah, and then I got all the helmets. I got this one here, which I'm gonna work on. I'm finally gonna finish because this one here it doesn't have the right sweatband in it, and it's missing its nape pad. So I'm gonna fix it up to make it as good as it should be. It's got an old Firestone liner in it. No, I haven't saved the tank of a refrigerator. I haven't even asked them if they want it yet because I haven't seen them. So that's okay. I don't even know where we'd put it at this point, to be honest. Or how I would get it here. I have a Chevy Impala. I don't really have a way to like get it here, to be fair. Well, this time of night, I've normally been at work for like 3 hours, so I'm very wide awake. I'm a little tired from landscaping and stuff today, but turn it into a bomb shelter? Probably could. That fridge is fucking heavy and built. This back when like people still cared about making shit good, which is kind of nice. Back when they made shit good, you know, the 90s. Not really. That fridge was built in the 70s, but building models. You're gonna get a Darth Vader? No, I'm not gonna get it. People want too much money for those Darth Vader helmets, and that's fair. Bro Daddy's watching a live stream. But yeah, no, I couldn't afford to pay what Mike got a really good deal on his, to be fair, but it's still more than I'd want to pay for a helmet that I don't really have a historical interest in. I have my Iraqi M8003 right over there. It's mint and unissued, and so is the cover on it, which is nice enough for me. I got the representation. Mine was a vet bring back. I even have the paperwork with it of the vet that brought it back, you know. So whereas Mike doesn't have that with his Darth Vader helmet, but whereas his was just for the Fedayeen, mine was just for more of the general Iraqi army. So yeah, mine has the paperwork with it, which is super slick, and it's unissued. So not only is it a war prize, it's an unissued war prize. So pretty good. Gardening, I just like gardening because, you know, like I told Paige earlier, next to Paige, Mother Earth is probably Mother Nature's probably my favorite woman. So got that going for me. I do know how plants work, and I'm just glad that our soil around here was as good as it is, because it looks like Not really Stahlhelms. They did wear steel helmets, and the fact that Stahlhelm literally translates to steel helmet. Because they at one point did have a bunch of steel helmets. That they had a bunch of Hungarian and Polish and Czech steel helmets that they bought, the SSH 40 copies. So, or literally SSH 40s they were given as aid. In the 60s, they bought a bunch of those. So they bought a bunch of SSH 40s and Czech VZ52 helmets and VZ53 helmets and a bunch of Polish VZ50 helmets and stuff like that. So they used a lot of those in the Iran-Iraq war, but they lost a lot of them in the Iran-Iraq war, especially with the chemical exposure and stuff. And then they just decided to start making helmets themselves based off of some helmets that they bought to replace because they were really, really poor. And South Korea was giving away Corlan helmets, which is M1. It's basically resin and burlap helmets in the shape of an M1, which were the Iraqi M80 helmets. They started buying those in 1980, but they were developed in the 70s from South Korea. And South Korea was basically giving them away, which is why Iraq took them. And they really liked them because they were light, and unlike the steel, which gets super duper hot in the desert, steel's good for protection and stuff, but it gets really, really hot in the desert, and it was giving their soldiers heat stroke and stuff. And not to mention, it kind of burns you because it's steel. Corlan helmets don't do that. So, yeah. Yep, that would be about that era. So, but yeah, they take it easy, Alice. But yeah, they would wear a lot of SSH 40s and SSH 40 clone helmets from the Soviet bloc that they bought. And then when those kind of disappeared during the Iran-Iraq war, they ended up buying the Corlan helmets because they don't get as hot. And they're a little bit lighter weight than the steel helmets are. They really liked those, and they started making them themselves. So the green Iraqi M80 helmets, they're from the South Koreans. They're all made in South Korea. Then you have the tan M90 one, which has a ton of rivets all over it. And it has that big kind of surgical tubing rubber rim. And then you have the one that I have, which is the M8003, which looks just like the green South Korean M80, but it's tan instead. And it has this kind of like seafoam green teal liner in it. So, which is pretty nice. So, yeah. The Iraqis did use a lot of stuff, I will say that. Too much stuff, some might say. But yeah, that's a good question. I like when I get questions like that where I can explain shit. As one of the world's foremost helmet experts, I like getting stuff like that. Them damn Iraqis. Well, hey, beggars can't be choosers when it comes down to it in the end, you know. Beggars can't be choosers. But yeah. So I got that beautiful, it's off camera there, but it's kind of at the bottom of the stack, and I'm kind of sore from landscaping, so I don't want to get up and get it. But I got all my helmets in my room that nobody cares about, but I put all the ones out here that people would really want to see. So it's all the Russian ones, all the American ones, and all the German ones. So I have an RBR M6 and an RBR S4. Those are what I have left of my RBR helmets. So both of them are an issue though. So no, I don't have a Mach 3, unfortunately. My F6 is a Finnish one that Finland bought for their special forces in the 2000s, and then my S4 is from 1994, and it was made specifically under contract for RBR's the company that made them. Is all it is, and I forget what it stands for too. But it's a British company, and later they would have an American company as well, which is why you have the two different kind of RBR shapes. There's the one that my S4 is, which I have a video on. That's the European RBR helmet shape, and then the one that's a Pasget helmet shape were usually made in America. So what does RBR stand? I got a couple RBR helmets, so. But yeah. Nope, I still have that one, but that one's broken. So that tan one, that was his when he got deployed with the Canadian Special Forces. That's what he got, was an RBR helmet, one of the American ones, in F6. Yeah. It's in one of my videos. I do say in my RBR videos what RBR stands for, but I can't find it very easily because I'm drawing a blank on it. But yeah. Don't have a Mach 3 though, unfortunately. That's just one of their higher cut models. I've only got the full cut models, but yeah, I got the S4, and I got my unissued RBR F6, the black one for Finland, and then I have a tan broken RBR that was my dad's. So, because after the Yugoslav civil wars, he was participating in Desert Storm, and then in the early 2000s, he would have been in the first invasion of Iraq. So yeah, things are slick though. They do make a really comfortable helmet. RBR does. I do wish they used better than plastic. The little things that are screwed in place that hold the whole suspension system in place are plastic, and those break a lot, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a problem with those. That's what they're known for. Yeah, the liners are amazing on them because I like a nice suspension liner, and they breathe so well and they're so comfortable. They're so comfortable. They were so ahead of their time, but unfortunately they were very, very expensive for their time. So yeah, got the old. This thing's got a new sweatband coming for it and a new cover, and finally the nape strap. I've had this thing for years and it's never had a nape strap, and they're not expensive, but it's getting a nape strap, and then it's getting an Erdl helmet cover. Because it's getting an original Erdl helmet cover, because this is a nice reproduction, very, very good reproduction Vietnam era helmet cover, but it is a repro. So now I'm finally putting an original on it, getting the repro off of it, and I'll have to shape it really good again. You can see I shaped this one so good it still holds the helmet shape in it, which I might do a video on again, just to give an updated video of how to get that really, really nice tight shape on a helmet cover. So, because you could even do it with your Kevlar helmets. And as you can see, this one was so good that it holds its shape really well. Even entirely off the helmet, it still holds M1 helmet shape, which is nice. Nice. That means I did good. It means I know a thing or two. God damn it. Stay. Yeah. I know a thing or two about helmets and how they work. What's good about them, what's bad about them, tips, tricks, stuff like that. Really can't go wrong. Yeah. A little rusty. That's fine. It won't hurt it. You never would have guessed that I know a thing or two about helmets. Oh God, this is so much worse than the M1. So much more uncomfortable. It's about the same weight though. To be fair, it's about the same weight. Need some new pads, I can tell. The pads in here, which are probably getting pretty close to 10 years old. Very hard. Could use some new pads. I know it was sarcasm. I know. My sarcasm was sarcasm about you having sarcasm. It was like sarcasm section. What is it? Sarcasmception. There we go. Yeah. Could really use some new pads in here. Should replace them with something that isn't these terrible standard pads though as well. Because not that I dislike the standard pads, but I dislike the standard pads. Like a lot. They're not the greatest. So it could use some new pads eventually. Been spending way more money than I should be though lately. So that's a bit of an issue. Bit of an issue, but that's all right. Paige already said she's not going to charge me rent for a little while because I've done a lot of shit around the house. Fixed a lot of shit around the house. Done a lot of things around the house, which will be good. I can cover some money because that's my largest bill by far is rent. So maybe buy some gurns. You know me. Want to buy some gurns. Maybe finally get my dream revolver. Stuff like that. Dream revolver, which it's not the most expensive revolver out there. There's plenty of them around. No, I don't do the dishes because she doesn't think I do a good enough job at doing the dishes. Or I just don't do them how she likes them to be done. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I'll do other stuff. And I do a lot of other stuff. I sweep and I mop. I vacuum, shampooed the carpets twice, done a lot of the landscaping. So my dream revolver, a Colt 1878-02. That's one of my dream revolvers right there. The Colt 1878-02. So it'd be cool to get one. one that I'll never get because they're super expensive, is the Smith & Wesson Triple Lock in 455. Webley would be awesome as well. I'd even take a second model hand eject in 455 Webley. Those are like the two revolvers that I really want. But the Colt 1878 is much more doable than either of the Smith & Wessons. So the good old Colt 1878. Well, that's the thing. I don't know if the Virtus helmet bolts and the ECH helmet bolts line up. So I don't know if I can just drop in a revision helmet liner. Do have a gerb. I also work a job and then I come home and do a bunch of work, and I'm normally doing work before I go to my job. So oh yeah, we got a lot done today, a lot of landscaping. So hopefully I can just chill and relax now every day till the weekend. I made my big ass composter. Oh my goodness. Which if you're in the Discord, you saw my big fancy Swedish composter. And we got that all put together and put outside. Flower beds all planted. The 2 trees are in. The 2 fruit trees are in. Like, it's going to be real nice. The 2 fruit bushes are in. This weekend, we're hopefully going to till up some of the garden, plant clover, and start planting the garden maybe this weekend, even though it's supposed to be kind of rainy. We're going to till up the yard, plant a garden, do a bunch of shit. It's going to be nice. I do a lot of stuff. I gave Paige the Tokarev today to keep up in her area or whatever. So if she wants to carry a gun. I'm still doing law enforcement, yep. And but yeah, I gave her the Tokarev today. Not today, yesterday night technically. So she could have a gun, because it's gonna be a while probably before she buys one. Yeah. Do a lot of stuff. I just like to kind of weird to put it this way, but work isn't like enough work. You know what I mean? Like, work's the job. Like, that's what pays the bills. But like, to stay on top of stuff around the house. Yes, the dryer's running over there. So should hopefully be done here soon. You'll hear it chime and ding. But hopefully here. I just like to do at least one chore a day, because then I'm staying on top of stuff. You don't get buried with shit to do then if you do at least one thing every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dryer's going. So now, do I have something that's close to like an M1 for sale? Not really, but I might find something this for somebody. If you have an M1 helmet, I'll ask during the helmet auction if somebody wants it's a repro, but it's a really, really good repro. M1 Vietnam era helmet cover. Yeah, there's work and then there's work, but like here's the thing. I could be one of those people who bitches about working hard at their job, which I do. I work 12-hour shifts overnight with a lot of real shitbag people and a lot of high stress. And I could come home and do nothing because, yeah, that's more than enough excuse to not get anything. But then you just get buried in stuff. So if I just stay on top of work to do outside of actually working my job, then I get time to relax, which means I get time to stream and I get time to do things. So and I like to relax. 12 hours, yeah, 12-hour shifts, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it's not the greatest. But yeah, I'll make my blueberry muffin coffee and fill up my big thermos, and I go into work and do my job, which is mostly fight people. Pretty good at it. So, except for when I'm doing other stuff. But a lot of it is high stress, high intensity. But I'm here. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are saving your Spanish doubloons, your reals, your dollar bills, all that other good stuff, because I set the stream, the helmet stream. It's not so hard, actually. It's actually like laughably easy. The people that struggle with it are pretty lame. If you can't pass that shit, it does not take a rocket scientist. You don't even need to be in that good of a shape. So, to be honest, it's real fucking easy. That's right. That's why I'm so pasty. I got some sunshine today, though, a little bit. So, yeah, the 12-hour shifts kind of suck, but it means I only work half the year, technically. Literally, I only work half the days in a year. So, it's the way to do it. Got a scratch on myself from landscaping. But I'm glad that's done. We got now the only big landscaping project basically left is to till and plant the garden, and some raspberry bushes, but that won't be too bad. That's right. Dojo it up. It's the way to do her. Yeah, so hopefully soon, fancy new Erdl camouflage for this beast. The actually correct sweatband, because it has a Pasget helmet sweatband in it. The actually correct helmet band for it. Be real nice. Then we'll be set. It'll be a real nice helmet. Perfect. Hey, winning's winning as far as I'm concerned when it comes to fighting. Besides, a lot of the people that try to fight are those people that are like in high school. They're going for just the absolute like knockout punch, and then you actually like hand them their ass, and they're like, whoop. It's real easy if you actually know how to fight. It's not hard to win a fight because a lot of people really don't know how to fight. They're really awful at fighting. A lot of the people that really, really like to fight, they're just tough or think they're tough. They're not actually like good at fighting. People that are really, really good at fighting try to avoid fights as much as possible. That's right, the CQC. Bap, 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 bap. Damn. South Korea. Fueled by nothing but dog. It's the choice protein of South Korean athletes. Nothing but dog. But that's pretty cool. Olympics is big fucking deal. Gotta love it. Gots to love it. But yeah. Did a bunch today. Hello.
Hi.
You gonna say hi?
Yeah, I guess so.
I was telling them about all the landscaping we got done today.
Yeah, we got quite a bit done. Couple hours, couple people working at it. It went okay.
Okay, we moved way too much rock.
Many pounds of rocks.
Like 1,000 pounds of rock.
Probably, at least, yeah. So it was pretty. Hey,
Yeah.
Ollie boo.
I'm definitely feeling it.
I was gonna say it was pretty even though. Yeah.
We got it done. It gives me high hopes for the stuff in the future because if we can all get it done that quick.
Yeah, it won't
That'd
be
be
too
great.
bad. It's amazing how much you can get done with the power of 2 people. So
I know, right?
and not by yourself and somebody who just says that they'll do stuff and then doesn't do anything.
That's all right. I do.
Devin does actually do things.
I do a lot of shit
when we talk about doing them, so that helps a lot.
because I'd rather get them done. I don't need to fucking worry about it.
Yeah, then you know
I can relax. Like the next couple of days, I don't think I have anything to do actually. I can just relax.
We can find stuff if you want. But
I'm fine with doing little things like sweeping and stuff. That's not really like a chore. Yeah, I'm wearing the BDUs, the best uniform.
He does a lot. Yeah,
It's the best uniform.
Most of the last times we've gone out in public, so.
No, I wore jeans
frequently.
No, I wore them to dinner yesterday because I just wasn't gonna change. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I normally don't. I don't wear them for.
You wear them pretty often.
I do because these are the 100% cotton ones. You wash them twice, and they're like pajamas. They're super comfortable. Pocket space.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, when people say things are like pajamas,
they get real soft though.
I mean,
these are kind of dirty now from kneeling in the
I don't know. It turns me off a lot. So like when we first started getting issued the hot weather OCPs.
Those are not like pajamas.
Well, a lot of people said that they were like pajamas because they're so thin, you know, and a lot of people liked that about them.
They're so nylon-y though.
That's actually what I hate about them is the fact that they're so thin. At least like when I was wearing them, I was in a training environment. So I had all this shit in my pockets all the time because you couldn't be caught dead without your blue book and a notepad and like all of this stuff. And so it's like my cargo pockets were always just fucking filled. And then you have to run everywhere. And then you're running everywhere with these thin pants with your cargo pockets full. So it's always just shit, just like knocking back and forth on your pants. And I hated it. I hated them. Mm-hmm. And I still hate them. And I don't know if it's just because like I have, you know, like a higher body fat and it kind of just like reminds me of wearing like thinner clothing or like looser clothing or things. And like, I just, you know, I hate how it looks most of the time because I also like, I hate the way that most like fat fucks look in OCPs because we've all seen somebody who's way too fat to be in a uniform. That's how the hot weather uniforms make me feel. Even though I'm not that fat,
but
that's how they make me feel.
But the
So-
problem with this nylon is it's 80-20. It's literally 80% nylon, 20% cotton, and they wove it so loose. And so it's just like it has to be coarser thread to hold together because it's a looser weave and it's thinner. A thinner weave of fabric than the regular uniform because it's meant to dry really quickly, which means it has to have air gap in it.
Well, and that's the thing, though, is that if it's supposedly meant to dry really quickly, it fucking doesn't.
It doesn't.
And
'cause
that
it's
was
nylon.
why
Yeah.
anytime we were doing stuff, I always wore the all-weathers because it was better protection if you were crawling in the sand / rock / dirt,
Thicker
whatever you were
fabric, yeah.
crawling in. The thicker fabric was better. But then on top of that, the thing that I've seen with people who prefer to wear the hot weather uniforms now is they much more quickly become unserviceable and people shouldn't be wearing them because the patches that go on the knees, the elbows, and the ass, for some reason, is a different fabric.
It's 330 to
And
near
so
nylon. Yeah.
those fabrics actually, they hold the color a lot better. And then all of the other
It fades.
parts fades really quickly. So those uniforms look like shit really quickly.
Yep.
And like, apparently not enough other people care. I've made a couple comments to other people like, oh man, your uniform is kind of bordering on unserviceable now because it's fucking looking like shit. And a lot of people are like, oh, haha, yeah. It's like, okay, but like, don't wear it.
Yeah.
Like whatever. I'm a little bit too type A, too high strung like that. Like I'm still the person who carries around hair gel with me to, hair gel my bun most of the times. But like, I don't know. I do too much stuff and I just, whatever. I care a little bit too much. It's fine.
100% cotton, baby. That's what a uniform should be made out of. That 100% cotton ripstop. It was good enough for Vietnam. It's good enough for now. So, but yeah, it's because the whole nylon uniform is actually a very recent thing. You don't even start seeing that until almost the 90s, the nylon cotton uniform. Everything before that was all 100% cotton for the most part. Unless you start getting into like cold weather gear, then you have more nylon. Like the M65 is 50-50. Like the M65 extreme cold weather coat is 50-50, which is what your regular uniform is made of now.
Sure.
But like before that, regular uniforms were all cotton. It all fades evenly. It's real comfortable, pretty tear resistant. It's the way to go. Oh yeah, Oliver.
What's up, boo?
Hello, sir. Can I help you? Where are you gonna go now?
Back there.
There you go. But yeah, 100% cotton. That's the way to go. And that's the thing I realized. Like, and the fact that they still make BDUs in 100% cotton, I like a lot because I like the BDUs a lot. They're no frills. I don't like frills. Don't give me knee patches. I don't need a special ass patch. It has pockets that work fine with square flaps. I don't need anything fancy. It's works. Well, I'm not going to wear them when it's wet. That's the thing. I'll be smart and put my rain pants on. I don't need to worry about it.
It's funny. It's funny that you say cotton is bad for wet because that's actually one of the things that girls will do sometimes, like for hair, is rather than buying a bunch of weird fancy shit, is like if you shower or put like oil in your hair, is wrapping your hair in a cotton t-shirt to sleep in is actually one of the best things you can do to prevent breakage. Although I guess, you know what? No, I can see it because it keeps moisture in. So I see it. Yeah. Yeah.
It holds moisture a lot.
Yeah, it does hold moisture a lot. Yeah, I get it.
The old anecdote is, I don't know if they say it here in the U.S. military, but cotton kills, which is why all of our winter shit was made out of wool, because it keeps you warm even when entirely soaking wet, and it's better in every way.
I wish I lived in this house rent-free with my cat, not cat-free. I like the cats. Yeah, rent-free. I mean, I technically live rent-free because I pay a mortgage, but
yeah,
it's semantics, right?
The cats are really true here, though. Hey, lady.
She's been there, yeah.
Didn't even notice. She's carpet color, okay?
She is carpet color. That's true.
But She's very carpet color.
No, the cats know. They know. They like it here though, so that's good. They got
do.
a lot of room to run around. So
That's right, and fight each other.
and I knew that they would. I knew that they'd like it. There's a lot of things like you've seen them several times already in different streams on this little half wall shelf situations,
That go
whatever
around
the fuck it is.
everything. Yeah.
But like when I toured this house and I saw this, because it's pretty much in the entire downstairs, I was like, man, the cats are gonna love that. So
They do like it.
they do. So
It's all fun and games till they get a sliver on one of the regular ones. So
yeah,
we got to
we'll see.
rush to the vet and spend a $1,500 vet bill to get a sliver out of a cat's paw.
Yeah, these ones are nice and finished, but there is some of them are kind of like that raw wood feel. So we'll see.
Not even raw wood. It's smoother than that. They literally chose to plane it like that.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's they do that because it's easier on the planer, which is just a giant belt sander. It doesn't wear the belt out as much. So they put it through the planer and it cuts these channels into it.
Yeah.
Which is
Nothing
easier on
to
the
do with what it's called.
Yeah, but it's easier on the belt when you
Don't
plane
care.
it down to be entirely smooth. So, but they just decided not to do that. They just bought the raw, unfinished stuff.
Yeah, so what I called it, and you told me that that's not what it is.
Well, it's technically finished, but it's not 100% of the way finished. Like it's been through a finishing process, but not the final step of the finishing process.
That's okay. I called it raw. You called it raw. Probably people know what it means when we say that. So.
That's fair. I don't know if they've actually seen it though.
No, they haven't. But
maybe
probably
one
got
time
an
on the
idea.
stream we can pull it up on a phone camera and walk around, do a tour.
meh.
Then they can see what we mean. Especially one day when we get the garden all planted. You can
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And all the work we've been doing.
Yep, we made progress. We're making landscaping progress.
Our big ass pile of rocks behind the shed now.
Yep. Get rid of the weird suburbia landscaping. I don't want a fucking rock garden, you know? That was a rock garden with what we tore up today with one flower in it.
Yeah, it was just rock.
It was literally one flower plant in the whole thing. That's not a flower bed. That's a rock garden with one flower in it. So now we're gonna have an actual fucking flower bed with a couple rocks in it. And it's gonna be great because it's gonna be all flowers.
Yep. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be real nice. The big composter. Make our own dirt all winter. We're gonna have a lot of dirt by the end of the summer too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of dirt. I'll have to buy some buckets.
Yeah, my cats are pretty decent. They're pretty friendly.
Except for Oliver, he's the mean one.
He's not even that mean. Look at them. They're existing near each other.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
But then Oliver will beat her up for no reason.
Yeah, but you know, other than that though, he's nice. You know, he sleeps with me at night. He's a big cuddler on the couch, that sort of thing. Like he's a good cat.
That's right.
He's a good cat.
I don't know, Pippi's still the best cat.
Pippin is a very good cat. Yeah,
He is.
he just gets very excited whenever he hears a tap turn on.
And he's absolutely scared of everything.
Yeah, he's pretty afraid of a lot of things. Look at that. He didn't even jump when the
Beeper
dryer
went off,
beeped.
yeah.
Yeah. He's getting used to it. He's
Some of
making
the best
strides
life.
every day. I feel like I say it all the time, but also it's true. He
Yep.
just continues to make these little strides, and that's what it's all about, celebrating little progress
That's
all
right.
the time.
By the time he dies, he might only be scared half of his day.
Hey, he's going to live a very long life, I'm sure.
And that's true. We did DNA test him. He's not.
He's very healthy. He's
He's not-
healthier than Oliver.
Yeah,
so.
he's not super fucked up, which I was kind of expecting. Look at him.
Super healthy. He's got a lot of British short hair, a little American short hair.
Look at how disproportionately
got
long
a
his back
couple-
legs are.
He's got a couple, what did they call them? Like Asian exotic breeds.
Yeah.
Floating around in there too. Yeah, real weird mix to find in our area, I would say. But I kind of expected a little bit of that too, that he was a little bit of a breed that was not
Yeah.
common around here. So
And he's 8% chicken.
that's not no.
He's chicken.
He's
Look
not
at
8% chicken.
his chicken haunches. He had chicken in his thing. It's part chicken.
Yeah, it was that. So the way the DNA tests work is you take like a swab in their mouth, but they do this like fun little part where they're like, because you're not supposed to like feed them however long beforehand. So they do a thing where they're like, this was also in your cat's mouth, and Pippin had chicken DNA in his mouth, which I'd probably given them raw chicken somewhat. I think the day that we did the swab, so like maybe it was still hanging out in there, even though we took their food away.
Yeah. We did
but,
everything they said.
But what is more surprising, as much as Devin wants to talk about the chicken DNA in Pippin's mouth, is that Oliver had dog DNA in his mouth.
That is kind of weird.
We don't have a dog. Oliver's a purely indoor cat.
Yeah, but
there's no dog in this house.
The people that lived here but had a dog.
Yeah, the people who lived here before us had a dog, but like they vacuumed, we vacuumed, like we've done a lot of cleaning since then. So for there to be that amount of dog DNA in his mouth, but to show up in his mouth and not Pippin's mouth too.
Well, Oliver gets into
also
shit.
what's very interesting.
True.
So.
And Oliver's not as picky of an eater as Pippin is too.
But yeah,
I could see it. Yeah.
A little crazy, because I was like, I mean, I can maybe see it, because they had a dog, but also it's like we've been here for how many months, vacuumed how many times? Like, where is he picking up enough of this that it's showing up?
That's fair.
But because presumably any food that you would feed them wouldn't really show up, since you don't really, they only need you to not feed them for a half hour. So you would think that anything that was in their mouth, a half hour before wouldn't really show up on this sort of thing. So.
Yeah. They're doing all right though. And Oliver's got bad breath.
Yeah. It's strong signs for halitosis, but.
Nope. And Lady's just purebred, so she's whatever. Aren't you, Lady?
Yeah, little purebred ragdoll.
It's gonna be shaved soon.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done something for her, I guess, for health stuff, but it didn't really seem necessary. We were more looking for breed stuff, I think. But
yeah, because they eat pretty healthy. They do their own thing. They get enough exercise.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know a bit about her medical history anyway, so.
Yeah, she's doing all right. Yeah, she seems pretty healthy.
No Bigfoot DNA, not yet. None that we've found.
Nope, all their feet are pretty much the same size. But Pippi's gigantic. He's huge. You probably can't tell.
Yeah, he does have big feet.
So. He's huge. He's a very large cat.
Yeah.
Gigantic. Biggest one by a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
By a pretty good amount.
He's really big.
He doesn't look like it because he's also he's proportionate. He's not like fat, but he's just very large. He's a very large, heavy, dense cat.
Yeah.
So, but Lady's all fluffy and Oliver's really long. Should be getting hair all over my good coats, Oliver.
Yeah, he's looking forward to it.
So my good coats.
I like the one with the pimp sleeves.
Yeah, that's my pimp jacket. It's made out of the finest ginger baby sheeps to make that coat. You know how many ginger baby sheeps you have to kill to make a coat that nice? It's a lot. Yeah, the extra toes, the whatever that's called.
Polydactyl.
Yeah.
I once almost had a polydactyl cat. It was it's back when I was living with my mom, so it was like years and years ago. And one of my friends had an extra one, or an extra cat, I guess, from a litter that he was going to give to me, and it had them little toes, but I don't know, something didn't fucking work out, because with that whole thing, it was a weird situation. I was with my mom, and she was with her new guy who also had kids, and I got the least say in that house of anybody. And since they had already had cats, they didn't want more cats, so I didn't get to have a cat, even though they all each had their own cats. So I did not get to keep that cat. Still pretty sad about it, because she had all them extra toesies, and I liked them. Liked all those extra toes. It's really cute.
Yeah, like Mike's ditch kitten. He got this cat because he lives in Wisconsin, which is just full of awful troglodyte cave-dwelling people.
Yeah.
That are all drunks and mean.
Yeah, scannies.
Yeah, but he got this cat because some drunk fucking hick was probably driving down past his house and literally pitched this kitten out of the fucking window of his moving
Mhm.
truck onto his property. And then he had this cat for about a year, and then the cat, because they let their cats go outside. Cat went out and played on the road and got run over one day.
No, that happens. We've had
Yep.
a lot of pets go that way. So
Yep. So the ditch kitten got run it over. But yeah, from the ditch it was
Yeah.
born, to the ditch it shall return.
yeah, it's pretty crazy because like there's people who like will throw like pets, like baby animals, out of their windows because they don't want them out of
Yeah.
their vehicle windows, which is like wild to me.
I mean, it's one thing to just
Um,
release it, to like not have it, but to like pitch it out of a moving vehicle.
Yeah. Is like crazy, and you'll even see that represented in a lot of older cartoons, throwing this sack of kittens
Off
in
the
a
bridge and
river
stuff.
or whatever. It's so wild to think that that happens, but like then you also realize that like probably those are some of the same people, but potentially also more people are the kind of people who like see animals on the road and swerve to hit them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the kind of person, if nobody is behind me, I brake for a squirrel. Like if I'm not in a rush and nobody is around me and there's like a bunny or a squirrel running across the road,
Yeah.
I'm gonna slow down. Why
If you got
not?
time,
There's no reason to kill that little guy. Like, I don't have anywhere to be that if I get there 5 seconds later, it's going to be a problem. And I'm not inconveniencing anybody behind me because there's no one there. That sort of thing. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll break for a little bunny or whatever. But I have to remember that, like, there are people out there who go out of their way to swerve to hit a
animals.
bunny.
Yep.
Like, that's fucked up. Those are the people who throw kittens out their windows. And if you do one and not the other and you're offended at the other thing, like, nah, you're just as bad. Like that's the same shit. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. I can't believe that.
Happens a lot over by his property. He finds a lot of like.
Yeah, I mean that happens when you live in the middle. I assume he lives in the middle of nowhere. I
He
don't
does.
actually know, but like I grew up in the middle of nowhere. That happens. You get that in the middle of nowhere.
He lives
Like,
at right on the corner of an intersection in the middle of nowhere that has a train track by it. So it's a great place for
That's-
people to just drop shit off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of where I grew up. I grew up not too far off of a train track trail. So
Mm-hmm. Yep. Simmer down.
but
Hey, lady,
yeah.
don't you start. But yeah, so we got a lot done today. There's a lot of neat stuff that happened.
Yeah.
All the
We
fruit
got
trees are planted.
One whole section of flower bed is ready to go, and it's got a whole bunch of wildflowers planted in it. We've got the 2 fruit trees I bought are in places, 2 decorative trees in places. We're gonna pick up some raspberry bushes from my mom on Friday. We got a lot going on.
I just gotta hopefully this weekend plant the garden, plant the raspberry bushes.
Yeah.
And then it's probably a pretty good start.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably enough for the weekend.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be rainy and kind of gross all weekend.
Mm.
But hopefully not super bad.
Yeah.
Because if it's raining just a little bit, I'll still go out there and do stuff. Now, you be very careful, sir. That is an expensive light.
He won't be careful.
It's a $200 light.
He's not going to be careful.
Okay.
He is beautiful, though, so. Get a little camera action on.
He's over there, though. He's too far away.
Well, yeah, you move it.
But if I move too fast, it's going to move.
Look at him. He's beautiful. Oliver rolling around on the ground.
And Lady being mad about it.
Look at him. He's so cute.
That was your chance, Lady, and you took it. Oh,
Ollivander, you get.
He's gonna be.
About to hear
He's
some
gonna be
angry
mean.
cat noises. That was a trot. He was on a mission.
He was. He's the mean one. He literally got up from
Well,
relaxing and is
okay,
like, I'm gonna
sometimes
beat the shit out of this.
She starts it. She starts it sometimes.
She didn't that time.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes she starts it.
sometimes.
Maybe 1 in 5 times she starts
This
it.
is all fuzzy.
Which is, we got it just here.
Well, now you scared me.
There we go.
Right? He does look like a little Disney character. He's so cute. I can't even handle it.
He's the bestest boy. He's the nicest, most innocent boy, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's very good. He's
very
very good.
The best kitty cat. By far. Biggest kitty cat by far. Doesn't quack like Oliver does. He actually meows, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. The only cat that meows.
That's right.
Willow baws like a little sheep.
She does baw like a little. Well, she's fluffy like a sheep. It makes sense. For now, until we trim her back.
I don't think Oliver quacks.
He does quack. He does meh. He does meh.
Just at birds and stuff, though. That's just to the prey. If that's all you hear, that means he thinks you're prey.
No.
He does regular. You know, you've heard him yowl.
He does yowl. He does do
yowls.
that sometimes. Instead of
Yeah,
empty
he only
room.
does the little mess at like birds and stuff. So
That's right. You better not think I'm prey, Oliver, because
Well-
I will beat you.
he might if that's all you hear from him. So.
It'll be go time, Oliver.
Which, speaking of that, we also have some bird feeders we got up with some bird feed in them. So
Right. They're all set.
also very exciting.
I'll pick up some suet blocks and some other stuff for them, and
True.
we could have all the kinds of birds. All the kinds of
All the crows.
yeah, all the crows
All
to
the
scare
crows.
everything away.
I'm excited. All the crows.
I'm not crows.
I like crows. They're very smart. Sometimes they'll bring you little stuff. Oh, are you hunting?
They're
Did
bringing,
you get something?
you get a stink bug?
I think he might have caught something the way he just did that.
Good.
Yeah, he might have just ate a bug.
Maybe it's a big ugly spider. There's a lot of those around.
But yeah, I don't know. I like crows. Sometimes they bring you shiny things. You
That's
can train crows pretty well though. That's like the fun thing. So
Yeah.
it would be kind of cool to get a little wild flock of crows.
I'm no
but-
problem with the crows as long as they let the other birds come and eat too.
Yeah,
That's
true,
my
true.
problem. They scare off a lot of other shit, which I don't like.
Yeah,
But
but for now we've got a small variety of birds, but they're coming. It helps that a couple of our neighbors have like some bird feeders and stuff, but hopefully we have the superior bird feeders so that they come
They
to
are
our
pretty
place
nice.
more.
and getting some variety is gonna mean we're gonna get.
Yep.
Oh,
Gotta steal any of the birds away from Jerry and Julia and the other guys over there. They got a little bird. I don't know. I think they only have a bird house. I don't think they have a bird feeder.
I think we're the
the-
only ones that actually have like a
the
feeder
ones-
feeder.
No, Jerry and Julia have a feeder.
They have a feeder.
They have a feeder, yeah. So
Yeah, we got two big nice big feeders.
yeah, I was gonna say the other people who are down the hill from us, they've got the bird house that looks like a little church, which I think is weird. And
That's kind of cool though. The bird goes to church and lives there. That's funny.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, Jerry and Julia have a feeder. It looks similar to our like the little barn style feeder, but it's just that on the pole. It's not like how
Yeah.
ours hang off of it. It's like
Wouldn't it be so funny if they have a birdhouse that looks like a church and a cardinal live there?
okay, I'm done.
That'd be funny. Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
not big enough for a cardinal. It definitely is only a little songbird-sized hole.
Oh, okay. Darn. Shucks. Next time.
Don't even know if anything lives in there, but it might. So
Maybe something will move in though if it doesn't because of all the bird feeders.
yeah.
So we'll bring them in. We want the garden and the duckies come and live in the yard every now and then.
True. Yeah, we did have a small family of ducks, by which I mean 2 ducks, a male and a female, who have been I'm kind of up on a hill, and so part of the road near my house likes to flood when we get a lot of rain, which is cool for the people whose driveway goes right into that puddle. But that big road puddle, the pond, there were some ducks that were swimming around in there like last week or so. And then recently the ducks have continued to come around to the area. So they were coming into my yard the other day when Devin and I were out there.
Yeah,
So
pretty close even.
yeah, they were pretty close. They were pretty okay with us. I'm kind of hoping that they want to stay around. We can have some little ducks.
That's right. They'll have plenty to eat. But yeah, get everything in. Got a lot done today. All I gotta do is throw all the fucking rubber wood chips away in the dumpster. And
Hmm.
that's enough for this year, hopefully. maybe move some more of that rock because
Yeah.
that one strip will be too bad to do, but it can wait if it
Mhm.
needs to wait. Garden's more important. We got to
Yeah.
get that in before the end of May.
Yeah, the landscaping that was done before I was here is like,
Atrocious.
yeah. Well, like I said, it's not a flower bed. It's a rock garden with one or two flowers here and there. You know, it's mostly rocks. So we're just like moving a lot of the rocks out, but they did some terrible things like mixing rocks with rubber chips, like doing a section of rocks and then doing a section of the rubber mulch, whatever, which is annoying because the rocks I can keep and probably maybe find a use for or keep them around and get rid
They
of
don't
them
hurt
later or
anything,
whatever.
yeah.
You know, they're rocks, but like the rubber, like I don't want to keep that around. That's not going to do anything. So trying to get rid of that.
Yep. And then the two different kinds of rocks.
Yeah, that too. Two
Like,
different kinds
just
of
buy
rocks.
the same fucking kind of rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, because part of it is like I don't know, like the varied like granite stone
Mhm.
shit, you know? So it's all like those kind of things. And the other one is what did you call it?
River
Like
rock.
river rocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like even two different, it's not even the same kind of rocks everywhere. And then on top of that, we got like these bigger rocks, you know, so it's not
Just
even
big
all
landscaping rocks.
yeah.
Where they could have put plants, but they're like, you know what would look better in this field of
more
rocks?
fucking rocks.
A bigger rock. Yeah.
So just slowly tearing up all that landscaping, which, you know, whatever. I was talking before, like it feels like such a waste of resources because I know someone had to like pay money and spend time to get those in there, but
Well, they shouldn't have.
yeah, they shouldn't have. And like, dude, I want fucking flowers. I don't want a rock garden, you know, like the one that's in front of the house we did today. It's what, 3 feet by
It's probably close to 100 square feet.
20. Yeah, like it's probably like 100 square feet. That was just filled with rocks. Like, I'm gonna put flowers in that, man, you know, but that's like 100 square feet of just fucking rock surface. Like,
And it wasn't even like rocks you could see because they put 4x4 posts
yeah,
around them
yeah,
as
they
like a
made
flower
it,
bed.
yeah, they made it like it was
To
gonna be
hold
a flower
rocks.
bed, and then
Yeah.
they just put rocks in it. You
So
know, I don't want fucking rocks in a box.
yeah, it's
I
pretty
thought it was
terrible.
gonna be weird to say rocks in a box, and then I realized
That's what it
correct.
was.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
rocks
what
in a
it
box.
was.
I don't want rocks in a box, you know, like that's all it really fucking is. It was
Mhm.
out of that whatever like 100 square feet we did today, literally one like flower plant in the whole thing.
Mhm.
Like that's why it's crazy. One
What kind of
fucking
flower
flower
is that
plant.
too?
I don't know what it's called.
I know you
I
said
know
like
it's
orange ones, and I
orange.
can see it. I can see what kind of flower it is, but I don't know what it's called.
I know it's orange. I would maybe it's probably not the right thing. I would call it
think
like
it's
a
some kinda-
buttercup, like an orange buttercup. I don't know what it's called.
I think
Is it
it's.
like a daffodil or something?
I think it's a daffodil.
It might be an orange daffodil.
Yeah, it's whatever those are.
Yeah, I
It's a
think that's
daffodil.
it. Yeah, it's orange daffodils. That's the only flower that they've had planted. And but yeah, in that like 100 square feet that we just like got rid of rocks, there was one orange daffodil plant,
Mhm.
which we kept, and hopefully it reroots
'Cause-
because they also had like that landscaping fabric underneath, but they
Didn't cut a
must
hole
have-
for it.
yeah, they didn't cut a hole for it, so they just kind of planted it on top. But like with the landscaping fabric, most plant roots will like go through the fabric, so it was just kind of like planted into it, which like we could have cut around it, but we figured that they had left a hole for it, so we didn't really know until it was kind of too late. But there's more of those like orange daffodils like other places as well. So we have more, but that's kind of the weird thing is like all around the house and at all of the landscaping points, that's the only flower.
They must have really liked orange daffodils.
Yeah, it's the only flower that's planted on this whole lot is orange daffodils. So
Mm. It's all right. They till under like everything else.
but yeah, so I've got what we planted today. We had some I got a couple different packets of seeds. Some were native Minnesota wildflowers, and there was also like a bee and hummingbird, you know, like pollinator friendly wildflower mix. So we've got some of those going. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get to see those start germinating here real soon.
Couple of days, we should start seeing some little. As long as the
Hopefully.
rabbits and the birds don't carry too many off, but
Yeah.
they're close enough to the house, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
generally it says a couple weeks, but I'm hoping maybe a couple days, which might seem weird, but it's warm now. We've got them fertilized and watered, and they're close to the house.
Yeah,
And
and I know a couple of you live around near St. Cloud. Hit me up if you want some landscaping rocks.
True, we do have a whole pile of them.
We'll load you up with some fucking landscaping rocks.
Yeah, I definitely don't need all of them. We're keeping some of them for a few things, but we did keep some of the rocks like right up next to the house, which
Yep.
is fine,
Fine.
and I think that looks okay, and it keeps them kind of off of the
away from
siding,
the house.
and it'll
yeah.
keep them away from the windows and stuff. But other than that, most of them we really don't need.
So yeah, if you want some rocks, you can, as long as you bring your boxes and stuff, you can have some fucking landscaping rocks because they're pricey. Like those granite landscaping rocks, if you wanted to put those in, it's pricey.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good amount of them there. So
And honestly, I don't fucking want them. So
yeah, or if you want some river rocks and you're willing to pull them up yourself.
true. But yeah, like we don't need them. So
Yep.
you know, you can get them a lot cheaper from us than from buying them from a place.
Mm-hmm.
So they got some dirt on them, but that'll wash
wash
right off with the first rain. So
It's a nice
wouldn't
grain.
worry about them being dirty. Plus, the dirt that's on them is like pretty nice dirt because they did bring in nice dirt when they did landscape. So
Well, not even landscape. I think that's all the dirt from when because this lot was built on a hill and they brought in a shit ton of dirt to level it off before they built the house, it looks like. So, because, yeah, in the front yard, I'm guessing was where the top of the hill was, which is why when we planted that tree in the front.
yeah, it was a little sandy.
We went through 4 inches of nice dirt and then into what most of Minnesota is, which is that loamy, sandy shit that doesn't hold on to any water and is awful. But the whole backyard, where it was probably the lower spot of the hill where we planted the tree, it's all nice black dirt until I hit what appeared to be a concrete slab beneath the ground for some reason.
Yeah.
So, and I broke a shovel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm pissed because I didn't even push that hard and it still broke. But
yeah, whatever. He's fine. He's fine.
I'm just kind of salty about the fact that I was like, I can understand if I was pushing hard, but I wasn't. And
Yeah,
it
he's
still
fine.
broke. Yeah,
He's fine.
we'll get a different shovel, a better one. Nice steel-handled one, so that way
I
you
was
really
gonna
get
say
the
we
vibrations.
still have more than one shovel. It's
Yeah.
just not that specific kind of shovel.
Not a
so-
spade. Yeah, that's all right. Most of our like digging's done now. So
Exactly. So
yeah,
I guess except for when we put the raspberry bushes in wherever we want to do that. I guess we can see how many my mom digs up to for me.
and how big they are and stuff. Yeah, that shouldn't be
Yeah.
too bad though, because you want those along the shed, which means we could dig up some fucking orange daffodils.
Yeah, and we
So-
can. I mean, we could maybe put them somewhere else though, because we have they did them along the stoop, and we could put the ones that we dig up in between the ones that are there,
Fair.
so we
To
could
make
have
it a
little
nice
extra,
full thing.
yeah, a
instead
little
of
extra
3.
coverage instead of just a couple.
It's not a bad idea.
So yeah, we could do that with them. But yeah, I think that they probably have a pretty good, transplant.
Rate.
Yeah,
We could do that.
or ability. So
Yeah,
we could at least try. So
it's a good plan. Get those in. Get everything all
yeah,
planted
get a
and done.
couple of those in by the shed. Maybe still do a couple by the fence, even though I haven't talked to the neighbors yet. They're never outside though. Like, when am I supposed to talk to them?
Oh, I was talking to them today
Oh, were you?
because they let their dog out. And I was like,
Well, I saw them. I saw the dog. I didn't see them though.
oh no, when they let the dog out, I was like, how's it going?
Mm.
The first time they let the dog out, I don't think
Mm.
you were outside the first time.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
And you didn't ask about raspberries?
I didn't think to. I was just like, I thought that'd be kind of weird the first time I talked to him to be like, hey,
Well, yeah. So how do you think I feel? I haven't talked to him yet. That
That's
would be
fair.
the first time I talked to him, is asking him if they mind if I put fucking raspberry bushes on our shared
well,
fence.
no, I was like, hey neighbor, how's it going? They were like, oh, good.
Well, it's
dog
probably
ran over
fine.
to
They
me.
they
Yeah.
seem happy then. We'll
Yeah.
probably just put those bushes there.
It's fair. If they get mad, we can always move them later. I
Yeah,
guess.
true.
But yeah, they didn't seem like they'd be
They're like
vicious about
young,
it. They are
know,
young.
like they're young, so I don't think that they'd be mad
Too
like some of the
upset.
old people
And
around
they could
here
just
are.
have fucking raspberries.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is like any raspberries on that side, I'm not going to be too ridiculous
We're gonna have
about.
an assload of raspberries.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too ridiculous about my yield. They can just have any of the raspberries that are on that side of the fence, you know?
Mhm.
I'm not going to be bending over bushes to try to pick off the backside. They can just have what's on the backside.
I'm
don't
not
care.
gonna hang a.
Don't
I
care.
have one.
Okay.
It's fair. I don't think they'll mind too much as long as they don't totally engulf the fence.
Probably won't.
Yeah, as long as we make sure, like in the winter, we're pulling them back
Yeah.
from being entangled in their fence.
I mean, honestly, though, they have like that old shed, which they obviously don't use.
No,
they have
it's
that
like
old
falling
dog
apart.
house that they obviously don't use. Like they have structures against the fence that they definitely don't use anyway. So like
Yeah.
even if it doesn't go off a little bit behind those things, they're not fucking using it.
Okay then, kitties. Whatever that just was. But yeah, I can't hang a steel target up. They'll be mad. I have one. It's in the garage. It's very orange. It's big and. But no, we're not going to do that. But if stuff does eat the garden, I got some nice 22 shorts where you won't even hear those go off.
We talked most of the things that might eat the garden. I don't really give a shit.
That's fine. I just don't want them like eating the raspberry, not the like blackberry bush when it's this tiny. I have no problem eating them when it gets older and it can handle some of that.
Yeah.
Like if they eat it right down to the fucking nub.
Yeah.
Now
I get it.
I'll definitely kill a rabbit. So, but yeah, I think they're leaving it alone, which is fine.
You say we'll get sick of gardening, but like
no, I like gardening.
I'm not gonna get sick of not needing to go to the store to buy fucking basic vegetables. So you know what I'm sick of? Buying my produce at the store
for expensive prices.
I grew up with a garden, and it's wild to me. Like it's still wild to me that like I buy the majority of my vegetables in a grocery store, but I've realized that this is like that's normal for most people. Like most people
don't have a garden.
Buy the majority of their vegetables in a grocery store. But it's so weird to me. I'm so used to having a garden and like not buying vegetables. So
don't worry, soon.
Yeah, no, I think I'm okay. Like I'm sick of buying so much produce in the grocery store because the other thing, like you guys kind of know, like I eat pretty healthy. I like to eat a lot of produce.
You eat a lot of goddamn vegetables, yeah.
And it's crazy to have to like buy so much at grocery stores, and like that's the only reason I grocery shop as often as I do too, is because I've run out of produce.
Yeah.
That's why I go grocery shopping as often as I do, is I have to get more produce. So yeah, I don't think I'll get sick of it. I mean, I might get sick of it, but it's, better than having to go to the grocery store as often as I do. I'm more sick of going to the grocery store for this sort of thing. So
that's all right. I won't get sick of gardening. I like plants a lot. I like taking care of them. It's a mindless task that I just like to do, and it benefits me.
It's so nice though, like when you do some of the gardening, like even today with like doing the flowers and stuff, just like the smell of dirt. The smell of good dirt that is like wet. There's just, that smell is so good. It's a really good smell. I really like the smell of dirt. And there's something about how like the smell of being in a garden that's full of like green stuff that's growing too. Like all of that vegetation just like gives off a smell too. You can just smell it. You're in there and there's all this green stuff. And you've got this different produce, because different produce, still on the vine and whatever, gives off these smells. There's just all these smells that happen. It's so good. It's those little things that maybe a lot of people don't take the time to appreciate.
Like a forest after a rain.
Or maybe they haven't really had that experience to appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a very appreciable experience. It is so good. With all those smells, doing all that stuff, growing that stuff, knowing that you grew these things, like that sort of thing.
Yep.
Very good.
Well, we won't need a greenhouse. We're going to insulate the porch this fall. The 3-season porch into a 4-season porch. I'll just get like a $400 spray foam kit and some plywood and some deck screws and then screw some plywood over it just so the foam doesn't get wet.
Yeah, I've got a freezer. We could maybe get another freezer. My dad's neighbor has a smoker, and like honestly, like for me, for us, like we're not enough people to really justify a smoker. It's enough to know somebody with a smoker.
We could get a fancy grill where you could smoke, which a
Yeah,
grill
we
is,
could,
I think,
but-
something that's on both of our things to get
Yes.
is a grill. Yeah, so we could get one that you can also use as a
Mhm.
smoker to have. But
Yeah, I've liked the idea of a greenhouse, but I don't know if it really necessarily makes a lot of sense.
we don't need it if we're gonna have the porch. We don't need to grow
Exactly.
all year, but like we can
So-
keep the herbs and stuff. in the
Well, and
four-season
yeah,
porch,
like
you know?
we've got enough space in the kitchen to like start,
canning shit.
well, to start starters.
Yeah.
I mean, like for
For sure.
in replace of greenhouse.
We have enough space to do that for sure.
Yeah, we can do a lot of that. And yeah, especially with the porch, if we get that insulated the rest of the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know the greenhouse can extend the growing season, but the other thing, yeah, if you have enough space in your house, because that's always what,
Yeah.
like, that's what my mom did, is like, we didn't have a lot of extra space in the kitchen, but like, especially by the patio door and like, especially by the part that, you know, not the opening part, because like on the sliding patio door, you've got the part that opens and then like where the opening part goes. Always on the floor there, she had all of her plant starts like going so that they could be in the sun. And then of course that was also like, because most houses are designed so that like your heat comes up like near where your windows are and stuff, like that was where one of the heaters or the heat vents were. So they got a lot of heat despite being by the window, which you would maybe think was being cold. She would do that. So we would always have all these plant starters like in windows, by the patio door, that sort of thing. And then a lot of times if you do want them to keep extra heat or moisture, you can just like put
a
things
plastic
over
bag
them.
over 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can just put stuff over them.
It
like,
doesn't even need to be the whole plant, like a tomato
Mhm.
plant. A Walmart plastic bag
Yep.
over the top half of it is enough
It's-
to keep it going.
It's maybe not exactly pretty, but you know, if you have the space and if you have the need, like if you need to start things sooner, and you know, especially if it's like, oh yeah, well it's a month, you know, whatever, you deal with that shit for a month,
We
and
are-
then you get all that stuff in the ground, and then it's fine.
That's right.
So yeah, greenhouses do extend, but like if you have the space,
You don't need
you
it.
don't need one. If you don't have the space, for sure, go for a greenhouse. But
And our garden's not going to be that big. It's going to be like maybe 20 feet long.
Yeah.
I mean, we're two people in the end, you know?
yeah, that's the thing. We're two people, and I'm not huge into canning. I am thinking maybe of doing a little bit of freezing. But like personally, I think that the texture difference with canned vegetables most of the time is a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
I prefer frozen vegetables to canned vegetables, so I will
Mhm.
freeze some, but there are some vegetables that still don't necessarily do well for freezing. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'll probably do some, but not too many. You know, I'm
Yeah.
trying to kind of keep inventory of what I buy
Mhm.
during non-summer seasons, and like trying to kind of go off of that and like see what would be realistic for like what could I freeze that is like a realistic amount for me to go through before next summer.
Fair. And I'm fine with
know,
canning, but I don't
so-
think I need to can like green beans and weird shit
No.
like that. Like, I might make pasta sauce and
Yeah.
can it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
and that's different.
Yeah,
But yeah, like green beans, like yeah, just freeze a few bags.
that's
or
right.
Whatever,
For sure.
you know.
Or,
So,
you know, might make sauerkraut and can it. You know, you don't need to like have just jars of random fucking vegetables though.
yeah, I mean, pretty much the thing with like freezing and canning is like, if you ever have stuff that's like lasting you into like past the next year, you know, like you're accumulating extras and stuff, like unless you're, you know, preparing for the apocalypse, it's not necessary, you know. And that's kind of what I'm thinking is like, I'll plan enough, hopefully, to like get me through the winter, you know, get me through the summer
Mhm.
till the next time I have a garden that I can use fresh stuff out of it. But if I have a lot of leftovers at that point, that means that I did too much, because I don't need more than that. You know?
Exactly.
So, I
And-
mean, there is something to say for like maybe planning for having some bad crop years, I guess, but for the most part, it's like, if you're only continually adding more and more and more stuff,
Yeah.
it's not.
If you're not using everything that you're canning,
Yeah, why?
you don't need it. But it's
Yeah,
also
you
like,
don't need it.
I definitely know people, like at work and everything too, that would be more than fucking happy to take extra produce and eat it.
That's the other
you know,
thing too, is like you get
like-
to a point where it's like, yeah, like let's just give shit away because we don't need it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, somebody comes to visit, oh, here, take some fucking tomatoes and shit. Eat them. Just a couple.
Yeah.
So,
And we have thought about growing kitchen herbs in a windowsill or a pot, or like doing some hanging planters or something. We have thought about doing kitchen herbs so that we can keep some things around.
mhm. We just got to
year-round.
find a nice
We
system.
we have to find something that works really well for what we have, I think, but it would be really nice to keep like some fresh basil. I'm a really big fan of dill. I would like to keep dill.
Mhm.
I like cilantro. Devin doesn't like cilantro as much,
That's okay.
but like,
Cilantro's fine.
yeah, keeping basil, dill, cilantro, like a couple things. It would be nice to have a couple little pots of like fresh herbs that we
Yep.
could just trim off of.
Chives and stuff.
Yeah, mint would be a good one. Chives is one that I would, I don't know, I would maybe even pot those, but
Yeah, fair.
we
They
can
need a
even
lot of
see,
water,
but
too,
they-
yeah.
Exactly. But keeping a couple
Ah,
things around.
We
would
should have
be
saved
nice.
some of that dirt and put it in your lavender pot outside so we could put the onion in.
Yeah,
Could have done it just to see how he does.
yeah, or something else. But
Yeah. Just because we have
it'll
the
be
one
going in the
pot.
ground soon.
That's fair. Yeah, have some nice. As long as there's onions in the garden, onions and cabbage and root vegetables.
Yeah, if we do any canning, probably the old-fashioned way. I probably wouldn't use anything food safe or anything fancy, just like mason jars and lids.
Mason jars in a pressure canner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the old-fashioned way. I think
Mhm.
that's the best way, easiest way, personally. But I have used food dehydrators before. Generally, I do actually just make jerky with them. I don't really generally dehydrate fruits or vegetables or anything with it.
I'm not that thrilled about bananas and apple chips and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not stuff like that. I don't know. I've done a couple things. Like we've done I know years and years ago with my mom, we've done like fruit leather and stuff. So you kind of like, you kind of make like
Yeah.
a fruit paste, and then it's basically the same.
It's like putting jam in a dehydrator.
Yeah, it's basically the same process as making jerky. You
Yeah.
know, it's got to be thick enough that it can't seep through the rack. But yeah, like I've definitely made jerky with a food dehydrator. It's pretty decent, honestly. Like as long as you know what you're doing, it's okay. It's a bit of work, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's always cheaper than paying somebody else to process your shit, which is generally what I'm all about. So
Yep, we got to get a vacuum sealer because we both have expressed interest in getting a sous vide. So we're gonna need to get a vacuum sealer for that.
yeah, we could always do that.
They're not
some
expensive
things.
or
I mean, it's
anything,
not.
really.
I don't think it's high up on the list though. There's a lot of
No.
other things that are higher.
Gardening
on the list,
stuff
so,
first, and then
Yeah, gardening stuff, grill stuff.
Mhm.
I think a shop vac is even on the list higher than a vacuum sealer. There's a lot of things that are going to be higher on the list than that, so it's down the road a little bit.
Oh yes, she has an air fryer. I've never
I do
used
have an air fryer. It's okay. I use it every once in a while. It depends. I don't think I'm quite as crazy about it as some people, but the things I like about it are like, well, now that I get to cook with gas again, it's not as big of a deal to wait for an oven to preheat. Back in my apartment when I was still on electric, preheating an oven took fucking forever. Now on gas, it doesn't take quite as long to preheat an oven, but sometimes I still like it. Just, it's a little bit less cleanup. It goes a little bit quicker, even though a gas oven doesn't take as long to preheat, it's still easier to use an air fryer.
especially for one person or something.
That's
Yeah.
what I was going to say. Especially when you're one person or even two people kind of like sharing something, like it's really easy when it's like small amounts of food. So
Yeah, you don't need to preheat
Yeah.
the whole oven for everything.
and it's kind of nice, and it takes up less space, because it's like, yeah, you can kind of throw some shit in there and then you toss it around halfway through or whatever, and that you usually aerates it enough that everything gets all nice and crispy instead of needing to have a nice, even spread on a baking sheet or whatever, so it can be easier in that regard because it's kind of its own built-in baking sheet too, and a couple fewer dishes in that regard, whatever. But yeah, I've got an air fryer, I use it for some things, but I definitely still use my oven for other things. So,
Yep.
like I'll use my air fryer a lot for like I guess like pre-cooked frozen food, like stuff that's pretty much like ready to just like be
Chicken nuggets and
fried.
stuff.
Yeah, like that sort of thing. But if I'm like, sometimes I'll do like chicken breast or something, I'm gonna do that in the oven. If I do like a chicken Kiev, I'm gonna do it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's something that's a little bit more, high risk for like, I guess food poisoning, I'm gonna cook it in the real oven because then I can monitor it better. But
Fair.
Also because a lot of things don't really have directions for like air fryers still. Or the directions for air fryers like aren't that good. Like most of the time, if you cook something in an oven, whatever the time and temperature stuff on it is,
pretty good.
It's pretty accurate. It's pretty good. Air fryer, not so much. So
yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't want to cook like a chicken breast in an air fryer.
People do though. It's weird.
People do, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Anything else that's pretty drippy, I wouldn't want to cook in an air fryer. So
yeah. A lot of people's air fryers are really fucking gross.
Yeah. So
really fucking gross. I bet Kong's is really gross. I don't even think he probably knows how to clean it.
It's not even too bad. I've seen a couple different hacks where people just put like some water and some dish soap in it and then they just like run it.
Yeah.
Because all of the like air and movement will get the water and like soap moving around. Normally I just scrub mine because it's kind of a 2-part basket. There's kind of like the basket with the holes in it and then like the big basket and the basket with the hole, it comes out.
Yeah.
So I generally just take it into 2 pieces and I'll scrub it. But if you're kind of looking for a easier way, I think that just like the water and a little dish soap in there and then just like running it for, I don't know, whatever they suggest.
It's like putting a cup of water in the microwave for like 7 minutes to get it to steam up so everything comes loose really easy. Something like that.
Yeah, kind of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
It'll probably work.
Yeah, I can see that. It's almost 11 o'clock already.
Yep.
Damn. We're getting there. I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
I'm getting real tired. And I don't even need to get up as early as you do.
Yeah. I don't use my air fryer for reheating pizza. I do still use my toaster oven, but yeah, definitely pretty much anything that isn't the microwave for reheating pizza.
Yeah, fair.
I don't like when it's soggy. I guess I don't know. I haven't used the air fryer, so I don't know if that's a little bit easier or not. Pizza is one of those things that kind of borders on potentially being, drippy. That might make a lot of mess. The cheese can get a little melty, and I can see that maybe potentially making a bit of a mess in the whole thing too. So, like that's only kind of some of the reasons I wouldn't. But it also depends on what you have. Like if you don't have a toaster oven, I could see, yeah, for sure I would use an air fryer. But since I have my toaster oven, I do use my toaster oven to like reheat pizza.
Yeah.
So
I make pizza from scratch.
But yeah, anything too greasy in the air fryer, a bit of a thumbs down. That's kind of one of the downsides. Anything that's a little bit too greasy is a bit of a downside, or anything that might, a lot of times things that aren't breaded or like meat that isn't breaded is not going to go well in the air fryer because it's going to stick a lot.
I was going to say, I feel like stuff sticks super bad in air. I've never used one, so I don't even know how they work.
If it's breaded, it's fine. If it's like breaded chicken nuggets or like popcorn shrimp or things like fries where it's not necessarily breaded, but it's more of like a thing, that's fine. But like if you were to take like sometimes I'll get if you were to take just meat, you would want a liner in there because otherwise, like that, just like plain meat is gonna stick.
Good to know.
So
Good to know. What else did we do today? Vegan ice cream.
I don't know technically
Non-dairy.
if it was yeah, I was gonna say it was non-dairy. I don't know if it was vegan, but it was non-dairy.
Yeah,
so
that was really good.
it was really
the
good.
Cashew milk ice cream.
Yeah, I found some cashew milk ice cream, and yeah, apparently now, like for the last year or two, anytime I see anything that's like dairy free, I always think of Devon. So I found some dairy-free ice cream, and it was made out of cashew milk, which is Devon's favorite dairy alternative.
Yeah.
Because he's lactose intolerant. So I bought some cashew milk ice cream things, and we had one today, and it was very tasty. It was
double caramel,
good.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend.
Yeah.
It was very tasty.
It was actually really, really good.
It was really good.
So that was a good highlight, especially after landscaping. It was really, really nice. So nice cool down. But yeah, it's probably getting to be about that time to close it. Winding down. I'm sure people want to go to bed. It is a weeknight. I'm tired and I still have a lot of shit to do. Unfortunately, a lot of shit to do. Drive and shadily throw stuff that I shouldn't be throwing away in my dumpster in the dumpster.
Yeah, you can't even say you live there. You're allowed to throw it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not taking stuff from there and putting it in the dumpster. Is the problem. That's where they have a problem. They're like, "Why do you have all that?"
Whatever, man.
Yeah, not that they'd be too super
People
concerned.
Throw whole couches away in there.
No, they don't. They leave it next to the dumpster.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. At least I'm getting it in the dumpster, to be fair.
People throw whole shit away in the dumpster, so it's fine.
Yeah, I gotta throw those away and maybe grab a few things here and there.
Yeah.
Harold the fake ficus.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to stay. Other than that, maybe some of the art pictures finally. I have all those.
That's right. You promised me a lot of art, and I don't have any yet.
And we'll get art if you want art. You're gonna fucking get art. There's a lot of art in that closet, so you're gonna get it if you want.
Got a lot of blank walls.
You got a lot of blank walls. Well, you better start stud finding for nails.
You got a stud finder, so
good. Those are some big fucking heavy frame.
Yeah, well, you promised me some, and I've been wanting to put some up. So.
Okay, I can grab those tonight. Then it's a done deal. That's what it'll be. grab Harold and some fucking artwork. It'll be good. So it's all nature artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be real purdy.
Well, if it's good, I'll like it. I'll put it. Look at Pippi.
I know, right?
Look at Pippi.
Mr. Polite Paws back there.
Well, he had his little face up, like.
Yep.
He was doing a thing.
Mr. Polite Paws. He's always got them all tucked up like over each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Polite Paws. Oh, we got art. I just have to bring it. I just have to smuggle a bunch of paintings out of my old apartment.
Assuming
at 2
I like
in the morning.
It enough to put it up, but
I hope so. It's good art. It's very, very lots of nature. So some of them are pretty big, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't have to put them all up, but maybe some.
And the ones we don't want, I'm not super attached to them, so we can sell them off, put them on the Facebook Marketplace. People can come pick some out for some money, which is good because then I can recoup some funds from buying a bunch of gardening shit. So it should be good because I'd like to buy a gun here.
Yeah, because you don't have enough.
I don't have enough. I want to buy a hunting rifle, like an actual hunting rifle. So
yeah, I'm getting one of those. Look at this tree.
Let him go. Look at how tall he is. Look at how tall he is.
He's so tall.
This room's only like 8 feet. Look at that.
Look at him. He's so big.
This room's only like 8 feet tall, and that shelf is like 4 feet off the ground. He basically went from that to the ceiling.
He's so big. Hey, Pippi.
Hi, you.
Hi, Pippi.
Can I go for it? Gonna giraffe your way over there? Or are you gonna put your paws out? There you go. Come on.
He's scared.
He doesn't like to. He is scared. He's a scaredy cat for reals.
What a little baby.
That's right. He's the youngest one by like a
Little
lot.
baby. Yeah.
By like a lot. So
Yeah, he just turned 1 in February. So
they
I
insatiable
forgot to
thirst.
celebrate my gotcha day for Pippin, but
Oh.
it's so excessive. Like I feel like I'm a good pet parent, but like some people, it's like you celebrate the birthday and their gotcha day. Like they get 2 every year. That's crazy,
Nope, they only get one
'Cause-
day, and it's National Cat Day.
right?
Bam, they
'Cause
can
his-
rope it all in
I
right
mean, his
there.
birthday is in February, but his gotcha day is in April, and that's just it's it's too much. I can't do that. So
Nope, they National Cat Day. That's when they can all get presents. It's good enough.
well, no, I know his birthday. I'm celebrating all their birthdays. I'm not an animal, so
Cat Day. That's when they can have stuff. That's when they can have all the stuff.
but
But yeah, it's about that time. Really want to throw that shit away and then come home and I want to shower before I go to bed.
yeah, what if no one's stopping you? So-
It's fair. Like, the lady's over there.
She is, yeah. Well, she might stop you, but no one other than her is stopping you from taking a shower. when
That's
you get
fair.
home,
She
so.
does get very concerned about me in the shower. So it's always pawing at the door, and I'm like, you don't want to be in here, I promise.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can just leave it cracked for her, but
then it'll just be wide open.
yeah. Yeah.
So they're open or closed. That's how it works, unfortunately. Right, lady?
Yeah. Well, maybe she. Sorry, she's doing a good sneak.
She hears stuff going on in here that isn't people stuff, and she doesn't want to.
It's Pippin climbing on her OG cat tower. She's trying to take over all the cat towers. So
Is there something in the ceiling, Pippin? Is that why you keep trying to get to the ceiling?
no,
He was just like pawing at
he
the
just
ceiling.
likes being tall.
I mean, he does like being tall, but that's right. I don't have to poop alone ever again. Only in the morning. She follows me in the bathroom in the morning. The rest of the day, she could give a shit.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's a cat thing.
yeah.
Like to follow you right in the morning,
Yeah.
especially when they follow you out of bed. They're just like, yeah, where are we going?
Yep, we wake up and I throw the blanket over her and I go to the bathroom and she'll tootle right along with me. That's how it'll work. I gotta remake my bed too. It's getting kind of loose.
Mm-hmm.
Like to be nice and tight.
Mm-hmm.
So, gotta fix that as well. And shower and drop wood chips off and get a bunch of art. It's a pretty full rest of the evening. That's all right though. That shouldn't be too long. Shouldn't take me too long to get all those fucking pictures out of there, I hope. As long as I don't bang them up too bad going down 3 flights of stairs. It's the last thing I want is a fuck ton of broken glass.
Yeah.
So it won't be too bad. They'll be fine. Alrighty, everybody. There you go. Yeah.